Hello, everyone. It's Dan's All About Arsenal. It's the All About Arsenal podcast. Myself and my good friend Josh. We're here to catch up with
Guinness.
We've got Guinness. We're doing a watch along straight after this, so it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Arsenal versus Wolves, which we'll come on to in the next sort of bit. But we're going to just here to talk about a recap about Brentford and then Wigan in the FA Cup. Josh, how did you find? I mean, we'll start with Brentford, I think, because
let's do it chronologically.
Let's stick with the chronologic. But Brentford was one of those games where I think high expectations always, isn't it? But tough game. I mean, to be
fair. I think a lot of Arsenal fans probably went into that game thinking it was going to be like quite confident. You know, even though Brentford are playing well, you know, they were seventh,
still seventh.
Seventh in the table on a good run of form. They'd played some like biggish teams that they'd sort of got good results against. And I think we always knew it was going to be tricky, but fairly confident that we would have got the win. And I just think it was a bit lackluster.
Yeah, it was because we dominated. I think the first 10-15 minutes or so, we looked good.
There was a lot of possession. I just felt like there was no there was no end product for a start.
No,
which was obviously,
we need that part
until we got the goal.
Good old,
But
on that.
I mean, it was a bit of a funny game, really.
I think it was made out to be a bigger game than it was almost, and it's like there is an element of the boys feeling the pressure, a little bit, and I think when we play second, don't you find that's almost worse?
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. I feel like definitely when we play first, that pressure is off slightly, and I just feel like for me it was just one of them games where nothing was quite clicking.
Well, no, we watched. Obviously, we just recapped the highlights. It feels like ages ago. We're just saying this,
it does feel like ages ago. It feels like longer than
less than a week,
6 days ago.
Yeah, it's bizarre, and that's because there's so many games, and I think that's the problem. I saw a thing come up the other day saying like Man United are only going to play something like 40 games this season.
Yeah, we've played 40 already.
Yeah, and we've got so many more to go, and it just shows you. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, it's great because you get to see a team play more, but then also the reality is you're playing so much more, so the injuries are rife.
Yeah,
the results sometimes aren't going to go how you expect, and it can be frustrating. And I think there's an element of a lot of rotation as well. But when watching the highlights, I'm trying to recap on the silly things that happened that didn't need to be done. Reyes rolled out to Rice. That was one thing that stood out. I think
rolled it straight to their player. It's like even the commentator said like Rice was never ever going to get that.
No, he tried, bless him, but
and I mean, and again, Raya, for all the good that he does have that little error in him sometimes, doesn't he? With his
minor stuff, but
if
it cost you, we'll be all
luckily,
kicking off.
He made up for it almost instantly, didn't he? Because
the save was unreal.
They put the ball in from that as he's sort of tracking back and headed from Thiago. Not a bad header. It weren't great in terms of it wasn't, if it was a little bit further away, it was probably gone in. But, he did head it down and he does make a really good save. So, you kind of go, well, that's...
reactive, I think, more.
And, I mean, for me, and I said it earlier with yourself, but Mosquera was the shining light, I think, in that performance. In that,
mate, what a player we have.
He did make a couple of little mistakes, but he made up for it.
The main one was with Thiago again, wasn't it? It kind of bounced funny almost, went it over him.
Yeah, and he kind of had a little nudge, like not a foul at all, but Thiago sort of used his body well. To sort of. So then, when it did bounce, it was a bit. It got sort of pushed aside. Which then meant it went through. But good pace to get back, and then what a challenge! I mean, that's the sort of stuff you go. That's like
world-class challenge.
Yeah, you would like if it was in like a Champions League game against a massive opposition.
Yeah, true.
Everyone would be raving about it, but I think it was against Brentford in the Premier League on a Thursday night.
No, exactly.
It's kind of but I think at the end of the day, we're still 4 points.
Currently 4 points. Yeah. Hopefully 7 by the end of the night.
Yeah. I don't see it as a massive issue. in terms of like I can still see City dropping points. We've obviously still got to play them.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I think tonight. I think tonight's important. I think
it is. Yeah, tonight is important in terms of getting back on it, in getting back to winning ways, getting sort of stamping a bit of a statement. Again, we're playing first, aren't we? So
yeah, I prefer it that way.
We've got that little cushion there of going. Well, I don't know who City have got, but if they slip up.
Yeah, I look at it. I've actually got
but it's all back on. I think the trouble is we're such a hated team by our rivals that
I don't know if you can see that. This is the list,
isn't it?
That's the list of teams. What's next to have interest? But Alex, by the way, obviously just sent us a video in which we'll share on the next stream, Alex. But he said Mosquera did a brilliant last ditch tackle, which stood out for me in the game. I think it was a massive highlight. I know it's not a goal, but we celebrate some of these defensive kind of actions like it's a goal, and it was. Everyone was like, "Oh God!" Like there's a couple of chances he had, Thiago, which he missed the target, thank God, or.
There's one point in the end, wasn't there? Like the half volley that in the form that he's been in, you'd go, we were lucky. We were really lucky.
They played well. Brentford, a good team, and is it Keith Andrews? He's been kind of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
they were down for potential relegation at one point at the start of the season.
Yeah. Well, with the change, they hadn't made loads of signings, even though they'd sold a few, like their big players.
Yeah.
Bueno and. They both went, and they've done a good job, and hats off to them. They're kind of a bit of a set piece FC.
The long throws, mate.
The long throws. We kind of joked at the beginning because there was one throw that Coyote put in.
Yeah.
That it went sort of straight out. Weirdly, but it was like Jesus. That's
hell of a throw. We texted on the group, didn't we? We were like,
that's like Peter Schmeichel, like throwing it over the halfway line.
It was mad. It was the distance he can do, but it is become. We're talking about set
pace
pieces
of it as well. It wasn't just like the distance; it was like the pace of it going in there. It's almost
throwing it in the net,
almost more than kicking it.
What happens if he genuinely threw it just straight in the net?
You can't, can you? It has to touch someone. It's like an indirect free kick.
Okay. That's good. Okay.
I think so. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. It has to touch someone or something.
That's funny. Shree has also said, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." Okay, cool. That's completely fair. But it was it was one of those games. But I think it's a lot of people I've watched and listened to since other content creators and stuff is very much. I think we'll look back at this as a really good point, possibly.
Yeah, 100%. I think, to be honest with you, if we do win the league, which I think we will, I'm still pretty confident.
Yes, me too.
That we'll look back on all of it and sort of go like, really,
it all worked out.
Yeah. Let it all work.
Yeah, exactly.
But like even the losses. Do you know what I mean? Like you go.
We've not lost a ton of games. We've lost
we've lost three.
Yeah,
and so, it's like, apart from probably the Man United game, that's the only one where I say I've got like massive like PTSD almost.
That wasn't good, was it? Yeah, I agree.
Villa. Yeah, that was annoying.
And Liverpool, isn't it?
Liverpool away. To be honest, obviously they'd just won the Premier League the season before. It was early on in the season. It was at Anfield. Always a tough place to go.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a worldy free kick that we got done over by.
Yeah,
but it was a bit of a stalemate sort of game. I don't feel like if it was a draw, you'd have gone. Fair play. Do you know what I mean?
We're a bit more reserved on that particular game, weren't we? We didn't. We could have gone for it more, but you could have.
I think there was a lot of questions asked, wasn't there, about sort of obviously Arteta's tactics and stuff like they go for the win all the time and stuff like that. But I think, like I say, if we do win the Premier League, then I think we can look back on this season and just be like, well, obviously it's a success, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we've won, and I think. There's that potential, obviously, again, in the media and stuff, that a lot of people hyping up this quadruple because we are fighting.
I've actually got we're going to talk about the FA Cup, but that's just, got a bit of blurb for that. I've got a little picture, but
yeah. I think, obviously, with the fact that the League Cup's so early on in the season, if we can get that, I think that does sort of lay the foundations for that potential. I think the only one then really, well, the only two that we would sort of struggle with is the FA Cup, because it's so long, isn't it? And, well, I mean, obviously, we're very lucky in the fact that we've drawn Mansfield.
I mean, what a draw, to be fair to you. It's a shame it's away, but also you take it.
It is a shame it's away, but and you know, there could be an upset there. I'm not saying that they're, because especially when you are playing lower league teams, sometimes people struggle to sort of break teams like that down.
Well, the pitch is going to be horrendous probably as well.
Yeah, the pitch probably isn't going to be up to. But having said that, I have thought our pitch isn't as good as it used to be.
Do you think?
Yeah, like it's normally like a carpet, wasn't it? Like that's what I always remember. You know,
is it because of where we are in the season?
Maybe it's the amount of games being played on it. The fact that the women's like super, whatever their league's called, is played there.
It's a Super League, I think.
Yeah, Super League. Yeah, Women's Super League. Yeah, that's a lot of games. That's a lot of games to be played.
That's a fair point.
Pitch, and it to me, it's just not looking as carpet-like as it normally does.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and they spend millions probably on that. I imagine. You know, but I've been there. I've done the stadium tours and I've gone there, and they've got like UV lights on it and all that kind of stuff.
Oh
constantly being looked at, and it is interesting. But that's so that's Brentford done. So
we'll draw a line under Brentford.
Yeah,
it was a draw. Never mind.
Yeah,
move on.
We move
top
on
of the league.
So then we had an interesting, obviously, one with FA Cup, Wigan. Obviously, expectations were we had it in the predictions. Obviously, Vinny smashed it, and actually got it spot on. So you've probably seen the videos if you're following us on the shorts or Instagram or anything like that. But Vinny said 4-0. He was the first predictions. Jay used to score. Josh was 3. I went sod it 5. Alex, we didn't get one from Alex at the time, but it was a great result, and it was literally the game was done and dusted in about half an hour.
In half an hour, and another record, isn't it? It's the first time any team has scored 4 goals in
under half an hour,
under 30 minutes.
Yeah, which is nice. Another little record,
little knock on the old bedpost.
But yeah, to be fair, I mean, and it was a big and well rotated squad, but obviously. One thing we touch on is obviously Calafiori got injured again in the warm up.
Yeah, although it looks like he's
on the bench tonight.
Yeah,
so which is really interesting, because I think they are very much. We said this before in previous podcasts. I think if there's any little niggle, any like possibility there might be, they'd just go we'll put someone else in. But what it allowed us to do is like it wasn't just Lewis Skelly. I was excited about Lewis Skelly being in the midfield.
I was as well. Yeah, I was looking forward to that. And obviously you sent the message out saying, looking forward to seeing Lewis Skelly in the midfield. And then obviously the injury happened. You could kind of see it in his face as well. Like he was a bit like,
one chance to shine.
Yeah. And I do think that is his position.
I do think he'll get the chance eventually.
Maybe potentially next season he might get more minutes. In the midfield role, if we don't rotate with Zubimendi, because that's where I see his
like a DM type.
Yeah, like a DM, but someone that can sort of set the tone a bit, and
he can drive that ball as well, a bit like a Rice. He's a bit of maybe a mixture of the two.
Yeah, he is a mixture of the two, 100%. Yeah. The only thing is that only concerns I have with Lewis Skelly is his pace.
Defensive
or lack of, and he can be very rash, obviously, with his challenges and get booked, and then you sort of worry, if he gets booked early on.
I wonder if it's an age thing, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's sort of very cynical professional fouls that people do.
Yep.
But there's a time and a place, and sometimes I feel like he does them sort of fouls at the wrong time, or in the wrong place.
No, true.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it'd be interesting though.
For sure,
in them sort of positions, and obviously, I don't know if he's going to move on to that.
Saka. He was going to move on to that.
In that 10 role. Brilliant. I
mean, it's really interesting to see, because I know he's in previously seasons he's played there for the odd game, but very rare.
Yeah,
because he's always right wing. But I think to have him and Noni on the same game was really interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously, Eza had an amazing game.
Matt, very good. He had a very good game, and he, the 2 balls that he put through, like for the goals,
unreal.
Like, that's what you want from him. That's what we bought him for.
Yeah.
I would like to see him score more.
Yeah, I think he's the same. But do you know what? If he just went on and insisted and put him balls through over the top, through breaking lines, I don't think we would even moan. I don't think, but and he'll pop up and get the odd goal because he has scored some, the hat trick at Tottenham and the karate kick at Crystal Palace, wasn't it? But he does, and he can score a hell of a goal if he wants to.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's a different sort of string to our bow in terms of having people that can shoot from outside the box. Do you know what I mean? Like
these low blocks and stuff.
Years gone by, we've always sort of like passed it into the net. It's
frustrating,
which can sometimes lead to absolutely amazing goals. But it's good to have a different mix of poachy sort of goals. Well worked, sort of.
And we're off a bit. Madueke and Saka, I think, are quite friendly off the pitch. Good friends, obviously playing well together. And I think it allowed Saka that freedom because he was kind of floating across the the front three almost.
Yeah.
And I thought he had a good game. And what's interesting, obviously, we're gearing up towards the Wolves game, and he's been put in that position again.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that works.
Yeah, definitely. So especially when you've got players like Odegaard not fit for one, and also just not in great form. I know a lot of people sort of like going back to the Brentford game when he came on. It did change the tempo, but also he was the one that was marking the guy that scored.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like he is another worry for me in terms of that defensive. Like, yes, he sets the tone in terms of his pressing. And in the high press, but he still doesn't win enough balls for me, like in terms of like putting in like a strong challenge, or
he goes to, but he doesn't actually ever get it.
Yeah, it seems, It's like when people go to challenge for a header, and you just know they're never going to get it.
Yeah,
and it's like him, like he might challenge for a header, but he doesn't. He's not making like a genuine attempt.
Like good effort,
like he's scared for it to touch his head.
Yeah, it can be.
Which actually, funny enough, he did have a headed chance, I think, didn't he? Which
a couple is that game? He had two chances.
I think there was. I think it was in the Brentford game, wasn't it? He
had I think two headers.
Cross come over and he had it on the head, and he sort of headed it straight to the goal.
I don't know if I've ever seen him score with his head, but
no, but it's frustrating.
Well, he weren't. As soon as they scored, he injured his leg, and he was trying to run it off, wasn't he? But that was the Brentford game, but he wasn't right since. But yeah, it's a shame, and I think they're talking about him and Havertz with the update this morning or yesterday. That they're going to be hopefully available for the weekend in the squad at least. Which Havertz, I think he's the game changer.
Massive, because he is a big game player. And for sure. Obviously, when he did come back, he looked good. Good. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, and for Gyökeres as well, wasn't it? They seem to have a sort of sync up there. There's something there for sure, which no one else seems to have found, even though he's not doing anything different realistically. So
I think he's I think things are changing for him though. I think it's starting to click a bit, and it does seem to be a little bit of a. I don't know if it's forced or what, or if it is genuine, but he seems to have a bit more of a connection with the players, like with Martinelli and stuff like that. They've got like a little bit of what looks like sort of banter and stuff going on, and a bit like that sort of camaraderie, that sort of thing.
Well, I did hear the only thing. I don't know if has made a difference, because there was supposedly he's been staying in hotels still because he was maybe waiting for a house or flat or an apartment to go through, and they've said that it went through start of the year, and since then he's been more settled. That was something I'd heard. Again, I don't know what truth it is, but you can get that though if you can go home to your own place rather than a posh hotel.
It's like any kind of, at the end of the day, this is their job. I'm not turning to Roy Keane here, but this
do your job.
This is their job, and if you're doing a job and you're still not feeling, like, oh, is this right for me? Then it's going to affect things, and then as soon as it does start to feel good, and all the other attributes come in. It does make a big difference.
No,
they're all human, aren't they? So I believe so.
As far as I'm aware, they give it to AI football soon. So I mean, let's talk about the goals. So first goal through was Madueke. Yeah, and also the ball from Eze.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, they're making these runs, which I think both Martinelli and Madueke are runners, and they were kind of giving them opportunities. But to see the pass, because I didn't even see it, and you didn't. Well, I've watched the replay, and you've seen him come across, and it's perfect ball.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
But I think Wigan more fault than them because they kind of played 5 at the back pretty much, but they were playing slightly like in the middle, not the back line. They were playing slightly further forward.
Yeah,
tons of space, for us. So they, I mean, it's a great finish. Noddy for him.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah,
turned out, and I'm trying to think. Second goal
was Jesus, wasn't it?
Jesus, I thought it was Jesus. I thought it was Owen goal. It was third, and it wasn't he the last one. Need to find this out now, guys. I've gone blank.
So was it the Martinelli goal?
So Martinelli, because he pushed it on his left foot, and that was another ball over the top. That was from Norgard, and maybe that was the last goal. And Jesus, no, or did Jesus? Oh,
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Well, excuse us, we're having a moment here, but it was. I mean, Norgard set up a goal. I think it was for Jesus, and I think Eze was the one for Martinelli. Owen goal in between, which again, that was Noni and Saka kind of crossing over, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which was good as well. It was decent. But yeah, I think all in all, it's looking positive. I think the front line starting to kind of talk more, find their feet. But I think with the changes, and I think what's quite interesting, I think keeping it fresh by the Saka coming in and going, no, we haven't seen this before. Actually, we don't know how to quite approach it. I think it's slightly different by rotating.
Less predictable.
100%. Because we know Saka's always going to go down, try and cut in, but he can go on both feet. So you don't know which way he's going to go sometimes. But now he can go left, he can go right. He's got more space, not just a touch line to go out on. So I think that'll be, it'll be really, really interesting on the Wolves game. So I'm excited, really excited to see it.
Yeah, I think with Wolves, they're no mugs though. Like obviously, they're bottom of the league. You know, they were only.
It was a good game.
How many points are they?
Oh, absolutely.
9,
it's shocking when you look at it.
But they don't play bad football, and they've got a couple of good sort of youngsters coming through, that Mane and stuff like that. That looks quite good. They're at home. Yeah, it was only 1-0, I think, when it was
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah. So and they gave us a good game because we come out going, the ball was all right, you know. Like, I don't know if it's because we had a bad game. They played well at ours, but at home we, bottom of the league, and they've conceded. When I was just looking, a lot of goals. They conceded 48 goals, only scored 16. One of them's against us.
For me, we've just got to set out with intent of being on the front foot, playing more forward passes, keeping the intensity, and not just scoring one goal and then suddenly dropping off a bit, because I feel like we do that an awful lot. We'll score the first goal and then immediately we kind of go, oh, it's okay, we can defend, which yes, we can. We've got the best defence in the league, but it's just inviting too many problems onto yourself.
Why invite the pressure when
I've always been a big believer of it, and I think Arsene Wenger even used to say it when he first came over to England, was that the best form of defence is attack. So I
think it's almost slightly opposite philosophies, because when Arteta came in, he was like, I need to sort out the defence because we're leaking.
Oh yeah, 100%. And obviously the game's changed, and we know that, and we've said it before, with that statement from Guillem Balaga, saying how the game has changed and how Arsenal are kind of at the that kind of reference point for a lot of European teams of going through certain phases and playing and all this sort of stuff, which I get it, but I still think and that goes with the pressing, playing that high press and that sort of intent. You're winning it in their half, so keep it in their half.
Exactly. Stop
playing these sort of side-to-side balls. I know you're trying to draw them out. I get it. I do understand the tactics of it, but just be a bit more direct.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Forward thinking. But yeah.
What we're going to do, we're going to wrap it up because we're on a different stream for the live watch along. So Arsenal Wolves are just walking out. So we're going to end this. We're going to say thanks very much. Alex just did say it was Martinelli second. I'm in goal third, JJ's fourth. Yeah, so there. Thanks for watching. If you've watched us on catch up, great. Leave a comment, subscribe, and everything else. And we'll see you in the next one on a closest. Like and subscribe always. Thanks, guys.
Listen.